All right, Game of the Game podcast. Bet of the day. I went 2-2 yesterday, but you probably won some money if you took Cleveland money line like I did. But 2-2, 4-2 altogether. Um, so let's go ahead and make the picks for today. One of the best quotes that I like about gambling is, "You can't pick every game. You have to really hone in onto games, really do your research, and try to focus in and narrow in on picks. If there's a spread of 10 games, doing 10 team parlays and just parlays in general are just bad for betting. But you should really try to focus in on a couple of games, do your research, and go from there. So there's only 3 games on the slate today. And in that spirit, let's bet all 3. So the first one, I like the Lakers. I think they're -2. Let's look at that. They have not announced yet if LeBron is going to be playing. So obviously that's a big caveat. And we talked about it last night. I wasn't sure if Garland or Sexton were going to play, and that would change my opinion on the game. And they were game time decisions, and Sexton ended up playing, had a big game last night. Shout out to him. We'll talk about him a little bit, maybe tonight, but definitely on the team reviews that I'm going to start tomorrow. But so I like the Lakers if they play. I don't think Milwaukee's really played up to top competition this year. They've lost a lot of the top teams. And they're just not that freight train of a team that they were last year. This is a different team. I don't think that they've gotten necessarily that much better, but they just don't have the depth um, where they could steamroll teams. I think the Lakers are coming off a bad loss, undefeated on the road, I believe. And I just think, just player for player, this team is just far more talented than Milwaukee. So I like that game. The next game is a recap of one of our first bets that I actually placed here: the Utah versus Pelicans. It's a home 2-game stand. One of those weird ones. I like Utah again for the same reasons I liked them last time. I think that they're playing extremely well. Um, Same can't be said for the Pelicans as a team that doesn't really have that much depth. The line, I believe, is the same. I believe it's six or seven, but I'm not really too concerned with the Pelicans with the backdoor cover just because of how poorly they've played. Especially their bench has played this year. There's just not a lot of depth there. You generally need your bench to kind of help you with those backdoor covers, and I just don't think they have the talent on their bench to do that. In comparison to Utah, that's a team that's a good 10 or 11 deep now. And then I like the final game of the night, the Warriors versus the Knicks. I think that they match up really well defensively. The Knicks have kind of struggled to score points as of late. Uh, Draymond Green, I don't think you could tailor make a better player to defend. Um, Julius Randle, their defensive guards, and Ntilikina, and I believe another one of them is out today. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Steph to score the ball. I just think defensively, the Warriors have played better with Wiggins and Oubre. I just think they just match up incredibly well. And I don't think they're going to pass up this opportunity. I know that they want to make the playoffs, and this is an opportunity to stack wins versus lesser competition. So I don't think they're going to come in flat either. So I like, as a recap, the Lakers. The Lakers are a slight dog. Some places it's +2. I see it's -1.5 on Bovada. Um, I like the Utah Jazz to cover again, defeat the Pelicans. And then to round it out, I like the Warriors. I think this might be, I just told you that parlays are pretty stupid, but I wouldn't mind throwing a little 50, little $100 on this one and see what happens with that. But of the 3 games that I like the most, I probably like the Warriors the most versus the Knicks. I think that's a game that might get out of hand if Steph is making the shots. But I like all 3 of those games. I recommend all 3 of those. I'm going to make all 3 official picks. Lakers +2. The Bucks, I think once again haven't played up to top talent. The Pelicans, versus Utah. Like Utah -7, and then the Warriors they're -4.5. I always, just another rule of thumb, while we continue to this, I always bet down the number. So I don't like half points at all. Like it just doesn't really make sense unless it's like a football um, situation, and if you're getting 6.5. But generally, even then, I just think you should eat the point 0.5 and take it down to 6. It would just suck to lose a bet off of, I mean, what you get for the vig. So usually it's -10, 110 to buy the point and a half gets you to a minus 125, minus 130, depending on how much you're betting. It just doesn't make sense to lose money off of a half a point. It's just so hard with betting. You just eat it and knock that down. So I'm going to buy down that 4.5 to 4. So my line is going to be 4. So Lakers +2. The money line doesn't really make sense. I think it's just an even money line, and then it just makes sense to take the 2 and be safe. Um, Utah -7 and the Warriors -4. All right, let's make some money. I'm 4-2, 66%. That is a great winning on. I don't think you can get those. I think generally the professional bettors they're making about 59% of their bets come through. So 66%, that's a good start. Let's keep it going. We have some football games this weekend that I really like as well. So um, let's keep it going. A game is game. Bet of the day. Get at me.